Good morning. Here we are. There we go. Yep. Thank you, Andrea. I had a little hummingbird rescue effort to be made. There's a little hummer right over there. We have these big, huge windows, like what you can see right here, that line the entire terrace, and the roof is open. But sometimes we have unexpected visitors, and those unexpected visitors come in the form of windows and hummingbirds. So here we are. So we're here today. This is just readjusting. This is a free practice this morning. And for the record, the classes are always here for you by donation. And donation really comes down to what it is that moves you in your heart, what brings you to a place where you feel open and free. And so whatever that may be at any given time is only for you and your very own heart and your life circumstances to determine. We all know within our hearts if we have a tendency to hold on because we have fear of letting go, then the practice really is to let go. The flip side of that is if we're always putting energy out, putting energy out, putting energy out, then we might not have a healthy relationship with energy in the form of financial resources in the same way, and then it serves us to really notice where we're putting our energies out. So money's a form of energy just as words and physical energy are in our practices. So just a little touch in there. So we begin this morning, right, with our hands coming together at our heart center. We send the breath down and out the body on the exhale, and we inhale to the crown of the head. Call and response. Om, Om, Sahana, Sahana, Vavatu, Vavatu, Sahanao, Sahanao, Bhunatu, Bhunatu, Saha, Saha, Viryam, Viryam, Karavavahai, Karavavahai, Tejasvi, Tejasvi, Navadhitam, Navadhitam, Astu, Astu, Mavidvisha, Mavidvisha, Vahai, Vahai, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the teacher and the student be protected. May we work together, may we play together. May we rise up into the next best and highest evolutions of ourselves together. And if there is tension or friction, or when there is tension or friction, may we remember to relax into our hearts, to see ourselves in others, in all others. May we remember the oneness, the wholeness. Tyastya Naya Namaha. Tyastyai Naya Namaha. Where is God not? Where is divinity not? These are really the This is the heat and pressure that yoga applies to our lives if we allow it to fashion us from what we are, which is perhaps in this case carbon, to fashion us into a diamond. So we are experiencing heat and pressure this week, as if coronavirus wasn't enough. We have been given the opportunity to take these heats and pressures and fashion ourselves, others, and the world through our eyes into diamonds. So today I'm talking diamonds and I'm talking gold. Tyastya Naya Namaha. Where is God not? Ishvara. Ishvara is the one that you worship. I don't care who that is, right? That's never mind who that is for you. However you understand divinity in the highest and most valuable sense. It might be the energy that brought you here, the nameless, formless, functionless energy that brought you here from inspiration into the union of sperm and zygote into this body now. It might be that which brings a flower to bloom, or the sun to shine, or the clouds to come in, or the rains to quench the thirst of the land. It doesn't matter how you see it. The point is, can we connect our hearts to a source that we call Ishvara in yoga? The word essentially loosely translated into the one that you worship. You might see it in a great aunt, or an ancestor, or an ancestress. You might see it in a swimming coach from long ago, or a mentor, or a yoga teacher, or a priest or pastor, or in your mama, or in your partner. The yoga teachings provide for us an opportunity to remember. And when I say remember, my hands always want to come together because there's all these parts and pieces and thoughts, and I'm scared and I want to be compassionate, but how do I be compassionate in times of war and murder and injustice and what does that look like? Compassion. Passion, essentially the root of passion is suffering. Come means to be with. So when we remember, we are compassionate naturally because we are with another's suffering. If you think for a second, I don't even know the guy's name because I don't know the guy's name. But if we think for a second that right now, right here, that young man who had dreams of making an impact, of living a good life, of having a good family, that man who wore a uniform and placed his knee on the neck of his brother, if we think for a second that man is not suffering, is not somehow laden in his being right now with ignorance, doubt, and error, and seeing, and his wife if he's married, and his children if he has them. Can we broaden our perspective when we come to the yoga mat? And this is not to condone anything that's going on. This is to say that through the lens of yoga, that thieves, coronavirus, twisted ankles, fender benders, acts of injustice, that all of these are also Shiva. All of these are heat and pressure Because through the lens of yoga, the universe, this divinity, is always conspiring on your behalf to raise you up into the next best and highest evolution of yourself. This is how God is. And in this moment, this week, with fires burning and hearts aching and lives being celebrated and lost, this too is Ishvara. Any unexpected guest, coronavirus, our dear brother Floyd, babies born, babies lost, new puppies, flowers blooming, hurricanes coming, all of this is Ishvara. My practice is to learn to let go. To let go. To let go and to see every unexpected guest as Ishvara. I say Shiva because it's fire and transformation, it's renovation in these times. So my objective, the object of my attention, the place, the jewel I want to, the brightly colored jewel, the prism of all the colors of the rainbow I want to place right here in my Agya chakra, at my Agya chakra, my command center, is compassion first. Is deep prayers for all. Because anyone and everyone who's doing what they're doing is doing it because of ignorance, doubt, and error, if it is not in alignment with Dharma. When I say Dharma, I'm not talking moral. I'm talking you rub the cat from the head to the tail. If you rub the cat from the tail to the head, it's not the same. Mm-hmm. It's not immoral to rub a cat from the tail to the head. But the cat's probably going to tell you, yeah, no thanks. And those who are acting in a way that is adharmically or against Dharma, may we have compassion in our hearts and still do what we need to do, because there are deep karmas. There are deep karmas for all of us who do to another what we would not to want have done to ourselves. So we adore them. I adore that man who on that day put his uniform on to do good in the world, is what I choose to believe. And for whatever reason, whatever trauma and misgiving found his way in a situation, I've been there too. I've put my knee on the neck of a man, not literally, but in my own small way. It brings tears to my eyes. I've done that too, haven't you? So when we have compassion, our fear softens. Our heart relaxes. The word adore, the word adore comes from the 1600s, from the word adorabilis, worthy of worship. Because divinity is coming in and through everything that's happening through the lens of yoga. And it's giving us an opportunity to be fashioned into diamonds. To be loving and kind and compassionate and still do what needs to be done. I think about that judge that sits with the gavel, that looks out and says, what you did was heinous. And in this system and in this world in which we live, that will not go unpunished. but you are a child of God. And I'm so sorry on behalf of all of humanity for what brought you to this place. To lose sight. But now, pay your dues and go in peace. It's not condoning. We don't condone. But we act from a place of heart. And then we go out and look at how we bring more grace into the lives of the young men and women who don't have conscious leadership, who don't have soul at the helm of their ships. So we invoke Ishvara. Today in our practice, we invoke Ishvara. And I ask on your behalf, and I invite you to ask, that let there be in my heart no reason for me to be afraid. For if we are all the same, as is seen through the lens of yoga, beneath it all, if we are all the same, don't believe me, just take on the possibility, the potential that it just might be true. If we are all the same, then we are all, for example, gold. But I'm the ornament of Britt, you're the ornament of Mary, you're the ornament of Jim. Whatever your name is, whatever your skin color is, that's your ornament. Like Christmas tree ornaments, all different. But if they're all made of gold, if they're all made of the same structure, the same heartbeat, the same soul, the same stardust, if we're all made from that, then we are all the same. Let there be in my heart no reason to be afraid. Because those others, essentially, others have no existence separate from me, and I know that's not what's happening on the streets. This conversation is not happening on the streets. I'm just saying, if it happens in your heart, if it happens in your home, then you are the drop of water in the pond, and the ripple effect is your life, is your love. And all of this helps us relax because the distance between what and so what now is shorter. As we say, less reaction, less frequency of reaction, less intensity of reaction, and quicker recovery time. We're not brushing anything under the rug. Quick story, I was in India. I was studying with Dr. Vasant Lad. It was my first time to India. I was single. I was married, but I was by myself, traveling solo. Walking down the streets of India in my full Punjabi. I didn't have I had a scarf across my chest. I had my hair back in a bun, all of it. Like I was trying to cover up my shoulders, and those pants where the crotch hangs down to your knees and they're tight around the ankle. I look like a little genie with sunglasses on, right? All of it, doing it all just the way the doctor said. And a man came up to me and grabbed me, like full-on frontal vagina grab. It was a blow and a grab at the same time. What was that? Ishvara. Why? For this lesson. Because that night after clinic, after we saw all of our patients in the Ayurvedic clinic, and the administrator brought my situation, my experience to the attention of the doctor, the sweet doctor who always wears pastel dress shirts and has Ganesh as his cashier and prays and chants and sings and speaks of himself in third person because he fully lives and breathes and senses that we are all one. He said to me, "Oh, did you hit him?" And I said, "No, I didn't hit him. I didn't hit him because I didn't want to put more violence out into the world." And he said, "Oh, Davy, you should have hit him." Davy means goddess. "You should have hit him. Instant karma. He would be free." for your pondering. This is how Ishvara is. May I be the one who sees all unexpected guests as Shiva. So I love you. If I'm pushing your buttons, go to those buttons. There is no us and them. There is no me and you. There is no her perspective and my perspective. There's none of that. We are all gold. That's your ornament blabbering. Let the ornament go. Return to the gold. So I love you, you are love. And onward and upward we enter into our asana practice. It's cloudy, overcast here today. My body's feeling it. I think I'll just share with you this morning the card from our pilgrimage, right, which starts in September, but this is one of our favorite teachings that my teacher says, and that is, please remember for me how your heart became free. I would also like my heart to be free. So I hope that today I'm doing a little bit of that. Remembering for you how my heart became free. So we come to our yoga mats. Let's start in child pose. Brow touching down. It's a new day. It's Sunday. It's a day to turn our attention to our will center, our fire center, Agya Chakra, city of jewels. It's a day to ask ourselves, are you willing to be peaceful? Are you willing to love? Willing. Put your will on love. Put your will on respect. Put your will into a relaxed heart. Are you willing to be free from fear, to be free from judgment, to be free from suffering? Are you willing to be free? So we begin right here in this body of awareness, and we shift ourselves up onto our hands and knees. I'm going to walk my knees back just a bit and just shift my hips side to side. I'm hoping that what my body's needing today is going to serve you, because that's where I'm going to take in this little practice. And hook my toes under. I'm going to shift my weight forward and lower down to my belly. Release the tops of my feet. Open through cobra, shift back into child pose. I'm going to shift myself up, hook my toes under, lower down to my belly. Inhale, rise, release my toes. One more time, hook those toes under, release down, rise up, shift on back. I'm going to go ahead and rise on up. I'm going to release down onto my belly. I'm just going to lift up one leg and set it down, lift up the other leg and set it down. Lift up the first leg and set it down. Lift up the second leg and set it down. I'm going to lift up both legs, open them, bring them back together, set them down. Lift up both legs, open them, bring them back together and set them down. Lift your heart center and release. So I'm just wringing out this body that's sort of been amped up and ramped up with life's challenges this week. It was a hard week for me. There were hard moments in this week, I'll say. So detoxifying in this way is of high service to this body. Notice how I'm lifting the pelvis here between and then rising up. And then when I'm ready, I'm just gonna hook those toes under and shift back. Standing on those feet, letting the body weight shift, opening through heart. Let the head turn to one side and the other side. I'm just gonna walk one foot forward, release the knee, opening through heart center here. Walk this other foot forward, release the knee, opening through heart center. Walking all the way up and through. Opening right on up here and then exhaling and forward folding. Crown of the head weighs heavy. Back of the neck is long. I'm just going to shift my weight side to side. Let the crown weigh heavy. Then as I'm here, I'm just going to walk my hands up those shins. Walk my hands up. Heels of my hands to the knees. Walk my hands up. I just realized our little hummingbird friend found his way out, her way out. It was a youngster learning window challenges. Stepping one foot and then the other. Come to the top of the mat. My hands come to the heart center. I send my breath down and out the body. I exhale. I inhale. I'm going to sweep up. I'm going to circle my arms around here. Big circle. So when I can liberate tensions in my body, I open my body to receive both the production and the movement of biochemicals that help me relax, shift in that opposite direction. I don't know if you can hear, there's a variety of different celebratory Mexican musics happening in my barrio, all the way down into the city. Sweet for a Sunday. Inhale and open. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale and open all the way up. I'm just wringing things out a little bit to get things moving. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, rise up. Exhale and release. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to open my feet up to hip width. I'm going to pick up my left foot and turn my toes under. So I'm just going to give myself some weight between my front foot and my hands and then rock back to the top of that back foot. Then I'm going to turn those toes under again and press the heel back just to get a stretch through that back heel. I'm going to walk that foot forward, shift it back, turn the toes over. And things might cramp a little. Right. So may we be reminded, hook those toes under. So you're on the standing side of the toes and press the heel back. May we be reminded that most of our yoga practices, more than 90% of our yoga poses that we're spending so much time on mastering and putting our foot in the right location and our hip in the right location and yada, yada, yada. More than 90% of those have been invented in the last century. Yoga was not a fitness program originally, although the Ashtanga practices that were brought to the States definitely turned our attention to that. Yoga originally was a practice of liberation, to quiet the mind. By quieting the body, we bring those feet back underneath our hips. We're going to rock and roll to toes and into heels and toes. We shift the heels down, we bring our hands to our knees and we circle. I'm rolling to the blade sides of my feet. I'm thinking about Eden, my sweet dear friend Suzanne's son, who's in his 20s, I believe, mid-20s, and starting to feel some knee stuff going on. If you're one of those, no matter what age you are, these are good ways in which to help liberate and strengthen the knees. Then we rise on up. We bring our hands back to our heart center. We send those arms down and back. We inhale and sweep up. You can do any of this with music that you love. Just mute me out. Inhale, eyes gaze forward. We're going to step that left leg back. I'm just going to rock my weight right along the horizontal plane. Rise to my fingertips, let my body weight shift forward and back. I'm going to ground through the hands, step back and pedal from foot to foot. I let the head turn side to side. Right here, right now, moving on in and through a plank pose. Let the shoulders come forward of the wrists, and then send the tail back up. Bend through the knees, shift forward. Shoulders forward to the wrists. Soften and release back. Coming on in and through, we're going to release those knees down, lower all the way down to our bellies. Release the top lines of our feet. Inhale and open through heart center. Exhale and soften down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, rise up. Hook those toes under. Send your tail to the sky. Pedal from foot to foot. Float the right leg up to the sky. Inhale. Step the right foot through. Swivel the left heel down to the earth. Go ahead and walk on up. Bring those hands to the crest of the hips. The back foot is about at a 45-degree angle, so sort of diagonal on your mat. Your front knee tracks over second and third toe more or less. I'm worried less and less about the technique and more concerned about the flow of energy in my body. Raising those arms up, I inhale, sweep those arms up skyward. Full inhale and ascension. And then I'm going to exhale, release those hands down. Keep that left hand down, float that right arm up to the sky. Big inhale right here. Release that back knee down. I'm going to bring that back foot in toward the buttocks. Stretching and opening through the front line of that left thigh. Right there. Inhaling and exhaling. Some mopping going on here. Life is happening all around us. Releasing that foot, take that hand up to the sky, bring that hand on down and send the tail to the sky. Kalibriya, good. Telling my partner that the hummingbird already found its way out. Move in through plank pose, lower down to your belly. Interlace those fingers open through heart center and shift side to side. So we're just opening up this physical body. As we sit right here, let your toenails ground down and breathe deeply here. So there comes a point in our asana practice where we forget who we are. That's the magic point. Where all of a sudden I'm not this name, I'm not this form, I'm not this function, I don't have any education, I don't have perspective or opinions. I'm just opening my heart, feeling right into what's real here and now, considering the possibilities of deep, heartfelt connection. Corners of the lips lifting. So I'm clearing out the cobwebs. I'm doing a spring cleaning, but I do it multiple times a week. Clear out the fuzz, clear out the funk. Because in doing so, when I do so, I'm free. My heart is free. When my heart is free, I operate from both stress response when needed and relaxation response when possible. Release those hands down by the rib cage, open through heart center, hook those toes under and send the tail to the sky. Pedal from foot to foot here. However you want to do it, you can walk your feet right on up to the space between your hands. You can scissor kick your feet 2-3 times, right? Letting the body have its freedom, and then walk your feet all the way up if you so choose. Crown of the head weighs heavy, back of the neck is long. Soften through the knees, we inhale and rise all the way up. Take those arms up skyward, full inhale. Exhale, release those arms down. Interlace back in behind the body and open through heart center. I'm just shifting my weight side to side. I'm feeling my base beneath me. I'm going to open right through that heart center here and let those arms sweep back. I'm going to move through my whole jaw because, boy, those frown lines, you know how to catch up with me. Move my teeth around in my mouth. Stretch my muscles wide and open. Squeeze all my muscles in my face. Contract. Release those hands. I bring my palms together right here. Just shifting side to side. I'm going to bring my hands to my cheeks, to my muscles in my face, and just work them all around. Oy. No surprise what's been going on in my life. I'm feeling for muscular tension right here on this right side of my cheek, the jaw. Right? Life is good. I have so many blessings, so many points of trust. And then there are these moments during that full moon eclipse where all of a sudden a little bit of old stuff came up, trauma stuff comes up. You know, we're in these human bodies. We've all got a little bit of trauma. So just going back to the mat, crying it out, giving it back to Ishvara, whatever that looks like. Hands come to the heart center, send the breath down and out the body. Exhale, inhale, rise on and up. Exhale, forward folding, crown of the head is heavy, back of the neck is long. Inhale, eyes gaze forward. As you're ready, go ahead and step the left leg back, or right leg back this time. Let the body weight hover forward and back here. Just shift in right on here. Forward and back, forward and back. There it is, and then from here we're just going to press through those hands, send the tail back. As we shift our weight forward, the shoulders come forward to the wrists and the tail ascends. Shoulders come forward to the wrists and tail is back. We shift on in and through and forward. We're going to soften those knees down onto the earth. Shift back into child pose. Bring it all the way back in. Lower down onto your belly. Inhale, in and up. Exhale, hook the toes under, send the tail to the sky. As you're ready, go ahead and float that right leg up to the sky. Step that right foot through. Other side, send it back on up. She wants you to pay attention. My teacher says that every time you make an error, every time you drop a glass of water, every time you break a bowl, every time you step through on the wrong foot, she wants you to pay attention. So we're right here, we're gonna go ahead and release that back knee down. Keep that right hand down. Float that left arm up to the sky. Who's she? She is the feminine face of divinity. She is nature. She is all those things that we desire to bring more fully into awareness in our lives. She wants you to pay attention. See how we're gathering that back foot, snugging on into the buttocks. There it is. We're just going to go ahead and release that leg. Take that hand skyward, bring it on down, shift and sole that back heel down. We're going to walk up, bring those hands to the crest of the hips. Back foot is about a 45-degree angle. All right, the toes are tracking over second and third toe. Again, concerned less about what's going on in terms of the technology or the technical aspects of the practice, and much more interested in whether or not I feel a freedom of energy flowing through my body. Whether I can breathe. Can you breathe here? Right? This is a big, big, big question. Big inhale. As we're ready, we're going to go ahead and bring those hands down onto the earth. We're going to step it on back. We're going to pedal from foot to foot. Again, you can just walk it through. Perhaps you want to scissor kick it through. One of my favorites. A few of those just to shake it up. Then we bring those feet through. Feet hip width apart, crown of the head weighs heavy. Back of the neck is long. We're going to soften through the knees. We're going to inhale and rise and raise it all the way up. Big inhale. Exhale, release those arms. Hands come back and behind the buttocks. Opening right here. We might do some crazy things today. Just feeling the call for that. To liberate energies, to unblock things. Scrubbing the pot. You are the pot. Release those arms here. And then as you're ready, go ahead and just turn and take the long line of your mat. Let those toes face forward. Bring your hands to the crest of the hips. Glide one arm down the leg. Never you mind which one it is. Float that opposite arm up. And then take that arm up and over. So we're just feeling the length of this shortened side of the body and lengthening it all the way in and up here. Best we're able. Opening, spiraling up and out. And then we're going to soften through that same side knee, bend through that knee and reach around, circle, soften through both knees all the way up, over. So both legs straight and long, and then soften through that same side knee, release over. all the way up. One more time. Stay here for 3 breaths. I'm not collapsing into this bottom arm. Feel the heart center open, soften, release. Both arms up, inhale. Exhale, soften elbows back and squeeze down. Inhale, rise. Soften, inhale, squeeze. Inhale here. Exhale, arms rise. This time we release the opposite arm down. We take that arm up and over. Oh, muscular tension is such a curious character in our lives, is it not? Holding on to things when they're not even there anymore. It's our blessing and our biggest challenge in this life. So from here, I'm just going to soften through that same side knee, the side to which I'm reaching. Reach it all the way out. Come all the way down, both knees, rise up. Take it over, straight legs. Soften through that knee, take it all the way over. All the way up. One more time. Reaching long and strong. So this in and of itself is a mantra, ending through the knee, a tool of the mind. Asana practice is a tool of the mind. Refugio in Spanish. It's a refuge. It's an invocation for us to open into the grace of our lives, to get out of the day-to-day, to just go and split off for a little while into a refuge of our breath, the integration of our breath and our bodies. From here, we're going to take those elbows back, squeeze in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, squeeze back and down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, squeeze back and down. Then I'm going to let those arms melt down. I'm going to interlace. I'm going to turn my tootsies out. Right, toes turn out. I'm going to sit right here. I want to find a center point to sit. Right here. There it is. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and bring my hands together at my heart center. Exhale. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, squeeze on in. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, squeeze on in. One more time. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, squeeze on in. I'm going to take this, whatever arm you want. It happens to be my left arm, but whatever arm it is for you. Elbow down to the knee. I want to keep my hips square. Sit on down a little deeper. Raise that opposite arm straight up to the sky. Crack eyes up. Reach it all the way up and over. Come right down through the midline. Take a moment. Come to that other side. Elbow to the knee. Float the arm up. So I'm not falling in the direction of that elbowed knee. I'm keeping my hips square, reaching that arm skyward. Inhale right there. Full inhale and ascension. Reaching it all the way up and over. Coming right in and through the center. I'm going to right here swivel those heels out and let the torso release down the main line. Right down that front line of the body. Perhaps my elbows touch. This has everything to do with this grand recipe between flexibility and length of appendages and experience. I just want to make sure that I'm not feeling the pressure or the stress in my low back. I want to feel consciously, sense consciously that my navel center is lifting in and up and away from my pubis. It's going to wake up my inner thighs. I'm going to release and walk back up to the hands. I'm going to go ahead and turn to a foot of my choice and turn those toes forward, vertical with the mat. Release that back knee down. Lift and release through that back foot. And I'm going to hook those toes under. We're going to come all the way back in and through. Come to that other side. Release the back knee down. Lift and release. Just like that. Hook those toes under, shift and bring everything back to center. There it is, right there at center. Open and through heart center. Press through hands, expanding. Go ahead and walk those feet in. Big toes together. Heels apart, soften through the knees. We're going to inhale and rise on up. Take those arms up and over there. Exhale, release the arms down. So we're just going to open through our feet. Bring our hands to the crest of the hips and swivel through the pelvis. I want you just to close your eyes. As you circle the hips around, I'm just going to tell you a little bit of something that might be useful for you in these times. 100 years ago, emotions occurred in our bodies as a way in which to invoke energy. That energy was then transformed into our life force. To go milk the cows, to go plant the garden, to go plow the field, to go trim the hooves of the horses, to go change the wheel of the buggy. To grind the flour. All of these things had physical components. Life was physically challenging. Today, we feel emotion and we write. We feel emotion and we scroll. We feel emotion and many of us sit and stay seated. And those energies become toxins. They putrefy in our being until there is a trigger, a point at which they must be released. This is the impetus of cancer, where all of a sudden there's such a disconnection cellularly in the body. This is rioting versus peaceful protest. This is mindless attack versus conscious connection. As you're ready, we step to the top of our mat. I'm not judging anything. I'm saying I don't want that to putrefy in my body, so I'm moving it out. When the emotion rises, go for a walk. When the emotion rises, come to the mat. When the emotion rises, put music on, crank the tunes and dance. Move the energy. It's all. Hands come to the heart center. We send the breath down and out the body. Exhale. Inhale. Float the arms up and above the hip. We exhale here in forward fold. Crown of the head weighs heavy, back of the neck is long. Inhale, eyes gaze forward. Exhale, step the left foot back. Swivel the left heel down to the earth. Rise on up into something of warrior one. It's all about the flow of energy, less about the technique or technology of the pose. We bring the hands to the shoulders. We spiral and open into something of a warrior two. Just loving on this as it is. Sitting into this. We take that left arm back. We sweep that right arm up and back. I'm not tanking in or collapsing into this back leg. I'm using it for a gentle support. I'm feeling how the arch of that back foot is lifted. So too is the arch of my front foot. I swivel that right hand down to the earth on the inner line of the knee. Let the left arm rise up. I take the left arm all the way out long. Feel that length. I float that arm back up to the sky. Bring that hand down. Swivel to the ball of the back foot. One hand on either side of the foot. Step back. Down dog. I pedal from foot to foot. I shift in and through plank pose. I lower down. I open through cobra. I release down. I open through cobra, hook my toes under, send my tail to the sky, pedal from foot to foot. I float the right leg up to the sky, open the right hip. I let the right hand come up to what I'm going to call 3 o'clock on the mat. Perhaps it's here for me to let that right foot come all the way back into ecstatic heart opening pose. I love this, right? What do we call this in contemporary practice? Wild thing. Why? Because it's a wild, crazy thing to open your heart ecstatically in these times. In the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. Soften through the knee. Inhale, float the leg back up. Take that right foot, step it on through. Stay high on the ball of that back foot, raise those arms up. Big inhale right here. We're just going to settle here for a moment. Let this be a resting pose. I'm going to tell you another quick story. I love the fact that my teacher tells a story about how the coconut knife disappears. Right? He's cutting coconut. He has a place where the coconut man brings the coconuts and he drinks the coconut every day in Bali. And the coconut knife just sits there and he drinks his coconut and the coconut knife stays there. Because the man brings the coconut and he cuts it open for him and it's all ready for him when he's ready to drink it, but the coconut knife disappears. So what does he do? Does he think the world is a bad and an unsafe place? Of course he does. But it's because the world is everything. Oh my goodness, there's coconut knife stealers too? what does this world come to? But then he makes a decision that he's going to give and give and give. So he gets 5 coconut knives and he puts them all there. And it becomes a game, because guess what happens? Someone brings back the original knife and takes a new one. There's still 5 coconut knives, then there's 4. Then there's 3. Then there's 4. So what is happening? He's just saying this is how God is. Ishvara brings the coconut knives. Ishvara takes the coconut knives. This is life. But where is his heart? Relaxed and free. Is he gripping? Is he looking out for ways in which that the world can exacerbate or make more real his fears? No. He's looking for possibility that God lives in all things. Inhale, float those arms up. Exhale, bring those hands down. Send the tail to the sky. You got this. Pedal from foot to foot. Shift in and through plank pose. Lower arm down. Rise on up into upward facing dog. Over the toes, tail of the sky. Pedal from foot to foot right here. Go ahead and walk, step, or jump those feet right up to the space between your hands. Crown of the head, back of the neck is long, soften through the knees. Inhale, raise those arms up and above the head. Exhale, soften those hands down. Interlace, opening. He also talks about when his laptop got stolen. Brand new laptop given to him by his devotees. And he said, God is a sneaky little rat. Snuck into my house last night. Quieter than a mouse. Stole my computer. And then he laughs and says, aha. My karma is clearing moment by moment, day by day, breath by breath. Softening through the arms, roll shoulder heads up towards the ears, back and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Inhale, float those arms up and above the head. Inhale, exhale, forward fold, crown of the head, waist heavy. Inhale, eyes gaze forward. Exhale, left foot steps back. Sole the left heel down to the earth. Oh, rise on up. She wants you to pay attention, doesn't she? Other side. Shifting on up. Swivel that back heel down, opening into something of a warrior one. So never mind, right? Does that make me less of a person that I keep screwing up and missing that foot? I say no. Does that really affect your yoga practice? I say no, right? Does it give you an opportunity to smile and play and remember that she wants you to pay attention? I say yes. You know, life is just conspiring. Every single moment the universe is conspiring on your behalf to give you exactly what you need to raise you up into the next best and highest evolution of yourself. Myself, others in the world, yes. This too is Ishvara. Arms floating up. Big inhale. As I'm ready bringing those hands into the shoulder, I'm going to go ahead and open that back foot, sink on in right here, bring those arms out nice and long. Find myself in something of a warrior two. I got a little hitch in my get along in this hamstring attachment. I'm just aware of that, tend into that. You might have hitches in your get along. Bring this foot back just a bit. There we go. Oh yeah, much better. Reaching up and back here. There's nothing wrong here. When you're in a yoga practice, I look out when I'm teaching a yoga practice, I'm looking for the advanced practitioners. What are they doing? Less. What are they doing? Different. But they're not using their ego to stand in handstands and walk around and bring their unicycle to class. They're not doing round-off back handspring asanas. Not so much. They save that for a later time. They're looking for the depth in the simplicity. Big inhale. You guys are getting a wild ride today. Big inhale here. As you're ready, go ahead and reach that arm all the way down to the earth, floating that opposite arm out. Reach it all the way out. Long, long, long. Right arm rises to the sky. Inhale. Hand to the earth. Swivel. Release that back knee down. As you're ready here, we're going to go ahead and shift that left leg back up to the sky. I'm going to let that left foot fall toward the right side. Left hand's going to come right on out right here. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for practicing. Thank you for showing up and showing your heart. I'm going to scoot over because the wall's in my way. And then from here, you might go ahead and decide you want to take that all the way into that ecstatic heart opening pose, because that's what it's going to do. It's just going to ecstatically blow you open. The world is just crazy, right? In yoga, we are in the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. Can't you just see it? Holy Mary, Mother of God. Big inhale, soften through the knees. Inhale, float the leg up. Walk the hands. I'm bringing it all back here. And then what are we going to do? Remember? Bring that foot on down. Move in and through plank pose. Shifting in and through, lowering down, opening in and up into upward facing dog over those toes, tail to the sky. Walk through those feet. We're just going to take a little, how do you want to bring your feet together? You can hopscotch them. Crown of the head weighs heavy. Back of the neck is long. Soften through the knees. Inhale, float the arms all the way up and above the head. Exhale, release those arms down. Turn and face. Find yourself on the long line of the mat. Turn your toes out. Sit on down. I got another story brewing. You see, my energy's being released. Please remember for me how your heart became free. Look. My heart is so free. I was feeling all stuffy and stuck and gummed up, and I'm just right here, right now. So if this isn't possible, sit on down. If this isn't possible, sit on a bench or sit on a cushion. If your knees say, yeah, no, thank you, ma'am. Right? So we're just feeling the openness of the heart right here. Please remember from me how your heart became free. You got this going on. This is your power. This is your poder. This is your wisdom. This is your grace. This is the joy that can move and pulse in and through you at any time and at all times. We don't have to make anything wrong. We can just go, whoo! Right? If you were with me last week in practice, what did I talk about? My teacher says, this is your wasabi pickle. Like, this past week, holy Moses, this past week was indeed a wasabi pickle. Mwah! What was that? Hot and spicy and rare, and just, just doesn't go so well with my yogurt and mango in the morning, right? Release. I'm going to go ahead from this place. I'm going to bring one hand down. Float the opposite arm up. Big inhale, feeling for that expanse, and shift to the other side. We don't have to go into a state of being that looks all prim and proper. Yoga doesn't have to be this serious thing. There's laughter yoga. Google it. YouTube it. Right? There's an entire ashram devoted to laughter yoga. Go ahead and sit on down. Bring the soles of the feet together. We open those knees. Lifting in and up through our heart center. We bring those hands to the knees. So we are all of that. Divinity is in and through all aspects of our being. There's nothing wrong here. Where is God not? There's nothing profane. Where does Tantra fit in the ancient Vedic teachings? It's part and parcel of the whole. Where does Samkhya fit? It's part and parcel of the whole. Veda essentially says, this is truth. Like, the truth is what remains when everything that's not true falls away. It's undeniable. It's not provable either, therefore it's not disprovable. It's not debatable. It just is the isness of life. That's what we're wanting to touch into. It's the gold that lives in through all ornaments. It's the clay in every single pot. It doesn't matter if that clay shows up as the terracotta tile or barro tile on my floors or in the pot that my plants are in. You crush all that down, and what you got clay. You are the potter, I am the clay. All right. Send those legs out nice and long. You got me on a roll this morning. Big inhale, thank you. Arms rising up, press the thumb line up and away. Big inhale, the chin draws in, and then as we're ready, we're just going to release forward. Crown of the head, reaching out in the direction of the feet. I bring the pinky edges of I bring my fingers to the pinky toe edges of my feet. I open through the heart center. I'm just feeling into that forward fold. So I'm going to remind you, if you've not practiced with me recently, or if you've forgotten, or if this is your very first time, that you get to do whatever you want, remember? So I might be doing one thing, and you just get to slip off into your own little detour, right? It's like that book. Remember that book? Maybe because I'm going to be 50 this year, but there's these books we had when, maybe they were just a little bit after me, but there were these books that you read along, and then at the end of the chapter, you got to decide. You got to decide if Priscilla went through the blue door or if she turned and walked down the path back into the forest. You got to decide. This is the same. You get to choose. Releasing here. We're going to rise on in and up. I'm going to pick up the right foot and cross it over. I'm going to bring that left hand and wrap. Opening in and up through the heart center. The crown of the head rises. So what's happening in my physiology, and perhaps it's happening in yours too, what's happening is as we release those toxins, as we open up and reoxygenate the body, right? We open up and reoxygenate the body. Those toxins that have been built up because of anxiety or because of past traumas showing up, and I had some of that this week for sure. Actually didn't have anything to do with what's going on in the United States so much as it's in my own life and in my own relationships. But in that, as I'm bearing witness and watching, I'm like, oh, this is big. Like, she needs you to pay attention to this. She's asking you to pay attention to this, just like she pays attention when you break a bowl. She wants you to pay attention. Who is she? She is the divine feminine aspect of nature that is uncontrollable, unpredictable, right, in all ways. And she too is Ishvara. And so paying attention to those things, but then going, falling asleep and being really tired, like a baby crying yourself to sleep, right? Falling asleep in mama's arms, trusting that I'm held. There's still toxicity that needs to be released. Huh? So then I come back to that deep awareness, and I come to this practice, and I release that toxicity, and what floods in? Love. Love floods in. Joy floods in. Relaxation floods in. And you know what? This is the place from which I can go to the front lines of my life. This is the place from which you can go to the front lines of your life. Crown of the head reaching around and back. Releasing out of that, go ahead and take both legs out in front, and then just release those legs, waggle them a little bit. Had a lovely, lovely woman teach me something, student and client this week. Teach me something this week, very powerful. She used the phrase, privilege with a little p. Like my privilege with a little p allows for me to take baths and light candles. Privilege with a little p. And yet that is what helps liberate our nervous systems. That is what reminds us and remembers for us how our hearts can be free. That is what turns up and turns on the neocortex, cross that other ankle. Wrap around, turns up and turns on that neocortex so that you can see connections. So you can see this world through a different lens. So you can see possibilities and potentials. Orwell and Wilbur Wright came up with the idea of an airplane. I am just certain from the neocortex. It wasn't out of fear of never being able to fly. It was out of the potential of knowing that we can do impossible things and that actually nothing is impossible. That's the neocortex at play. I wish I could go back and see their neocortexes. Wrapping around. Oh, Mary. Hip open. And as we're ready, we're going to release that. We're going to take both of those legs out. So let those legs wibble wobble. Let the hip shift side to side. We're going to walk those feet in. Turn the toes out just a little bit. See if you might find your way onto your feet again. Go ahead and ground through the hands. just rested in, knees to the outer lines of my outer elbows. Tail to the sky, walk those feet back, downward facing dog. Soften through the knees, inhale, exhale, press the heels down. Soften through the knees, inhale, exhale, press the heels down. Soften through the knees, inhale, exhale, press the heels down. Just feeling that shift side to side, softening through those knees, heels, pressing on down. As you're ready, right here, we're going to walk those feet up to the space between the hands. We're going to allow the crown of the head to weigh heavy, the back of the neck is long. We're going to soften through the knees and inhale and rise on up. And I'm just sure you're feeling a little bit looser, a little bit loosey-gooseier. This is the grace of it all. Big inhale, arms rise, and I love you, you are love. I trust you, you are trust. I support you, you are support. You are the breath, you are the breather, you are the one being breathed. You are the dancer, you are the dancing, you are the one being danced. You are the lover. You are the beloved, you are the one being loved. Inhale. Exhale, forward folding, crown of the head, waist heavy, back of the neck is long. Inhale, eyes gaze forward, exhale, right foot back. Stay high on the ball, that right foot rise on up. Big on inhale right here. So you're seeing activation and movement through the lunar cycle. You're still feeling that moon energy in our practice. When I do a moon practice, I never even think about right side and left side being all lined up. I never even think about doing the same thing on the right side and the left side. I'm just asking myself now, what's going on now, what do I need now, what's right now. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, swivel, turn into the bent knee. Take those arms out nice and long. Spine is nice and vertical. Eyes track back to the hand. Melt the arms down. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands down. Send the tail to the sky, pedal from foot to foot. Moving in and on and through your plank pose. Lower and on down. Inhale, opening up. Exhale over the feet, tail to the sky, pedal from foot to foot. Go ahead and as you're ready, go ahead and step your left foot through. There it is. Open through heart center. Reach those arms down and along the side body. Press that heel back. Reach those arms out nice and long. Inhale, take those arms up. Hands come to the shoulders. Hands come to the hips. Give under that right foot. Turn the back toes over. Lift the knee in and up. And then let this front leg have range, have mobility. Let it awaken you. The foot comes in to the buttocks. The arms float up. I'm pressing the foot back, releasing, back, releasing, back, releasing. That knee comes in and up. I bring that foot down. I circle the arms around here. Big toes touching, heels apart, arches lifting. Reverse the direction. Inhale, ascend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, eyes gaze forward. Exhale, left foot steps back. I'm going to stay high on the ball of that back foot. I'm going to raise those arms up. Feeling that ascension right here. Now, what's right now, what's right now, hands to the shoulders. Rotate into that leg. Take those arms out long. There it is. Eyes track back to those fingers behind you. We melt those arms down, we float those arms up. We bring those hands down, we send the tail to the sky, we pedal from foot to foot. We shift in and through plank, lower, up dog, down dog. Float the right leg up to the sky, inhale. Step your right foot through. Rise on up. Take the torso, lay it on down on top line of that thigh. We're going to bring those arms back on in and up, float them up. Bring the hands to the shoulders, to the ribs, to the hips. Up and over the top line of that foot, float the leg up. Bend the knee, explore what's possible here. We know we've reached a point where a breakdown becomes a breakthrough. I think about when my stepfather died, and anyone that I've loved that I've died. I've surrounded myself with family, and something happens where the sadness, the grief, the sadness, the grief, the sadness, the grief, the space, the new growth of joy and laughter and absurdity of all of this. Joy and laughter, and then peace. This is the path of prayer. This is the path of our bodies reminding us what it feels like to be at home, to be the goal. We bring that foot on down. We pedal from foot to foot. Let's go ahead from this place. Big toes touch, heels apart, and lower on down. Let those arms come out in front. I'm not touching my butt cheeks down, but I'm close. Now I'm going to touch, shift, lift, sit, touch. We sit. So we're using energy, we're using the internal fire of transformation to mulch it. We're mulching that shit. Mulch it, mulch it, mulch it. Because that, as my teacher, beautiful Renunciate Swamiji Vagishinanda Saraswati says, that shit grows the best flowers. As you're ready, hearing the sirens. Bring those knees on in. We're going to wake up that fire in the belly. Knees on in. Wake up that fire in the belly. Knees on in. Let's do 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Heels up to the sky. Bring the arms down by the sides. Let your heels find that place where they're the most relaxed skyward. This is a secret in yoga. A secret discovered by the few. Many of the deep practices are not released or taught sort of in public settings. They're taught with guru and disciple. But here's what I want to tell you and show you. You might be able to access this in your own body. There's a point if you were to pause, or if you were to pause your practice and come into the camera, you'd see that my legs are pulsing. That pulse is a deep connection to universal energies out and beyond who we are. I can say those words, but just never mind. It just doesn't mean anything. You'll know it when you know it. You'll feel it when you feel it. It means that you've cleared things out, and the beauty of it is you can get there faster each time when you just keep clearing things out. Getting through the blockages, blowing through the roadblocks. And then as you're ready, bring those knees in. I love doing it with my tail lifted up on a block, but not an option today. Knees rest against each other. Tuck through the tail and we just settle here. We're going to roll through that tail just a little. Feel the pelvis just rocking. And then as you're ready, you're going to open those knees. You're going to let the soles of the feet come together and the knees broaden right here. Just want you to take this here, and we're going to bring our attention to the breath. Send the breath down and out the body for the count of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release, and allow your breath to return to what feels natural. In your time, you might choose to bring your knees back in and up and just rock through the pelvis, letting the knees rest against each other. Just noticing your nervous system. This is a potent, simple practice. Count the breaths. Exhale for longer than you inhale. No vigilance, no hypervigilance, no vigilante. Ease and connection. It's breakfast time for the neighbor dogs. I don't know if you can hear them. There's a whole bunch of them talking. As you're ready from this place, we open those knees, bring those knees on into the heart center. We're going to roll up into a ball. Exhale and release. Roll up into a ball. Exhale and release. And one more time, roll up into a ball. Exhale and release. And we're going to take those legs and reach them all the way out, long and strong. You let the feet turn to the outside. Let your hands rest on a part of your body that needs a little bit of extra awareness. Any tension arises, just let your body shift until it can find that place of ease. Find there's little moments of shivers or quivers in your body. Embrace this, the grace of this. toes a bit, and finding your way gradually over onto your right side. Heart is liberated. Just take a pause here. As you're ready, go ahead and bring yourself all the way up to your favorite seat. And we bring our hands together at our heart center. Send the breath down and out the body on the exhale, inhaling to the crown of the head, the snake. Om Purnamida Purnamidad Purnamudachate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamaveva Shishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you for practicing today with us, and please, pretty please subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I just need to get 1,000 followers here on YouTube, which seems to be a challenge in the YouTube world for me personally. So you can help me by doing that, because that helps me get rid of this middleman of Streamlabs that I use to stream these classes live. So I love you, you are loved. Please, please, please share this with your friends, forward this to your friends if you enjoyed it. If there's something about it that served you, let it serve others as well. I'm deeply grateful you're here. Thank you for practicing with me. Have a glorious day. I hope that you do feel that there are ways through fear, there are ways through confusion, and there is beauty in this community and in our connection and in these ancient teachings. So thank you so much. Subscribe below. Make sure you're on my email list at brittbsteele.com. If you register for a Sunday yoga practice there at any time, with or without donation, you can always be rest assured. You can rest assured that you're on the list. Big love to you. Thank you so much. Mwah. Ciao. Mwah. Adios.